What's up, guys? Today we have a special surprise for you. We have got 7 pre-release kits to open up. That's 28 boosters in total, and I'm going to open these bad boys up together with Dane from the Battle Bunker. We can talk about a few of the cards in the set and see what we can get, what our pre-release promos are, and what these boxes would have held for you if you were actually playing a pre-release. So stick around, I'll be right back after the break. Alright guys, let's take a look at what's in one of these pre-release boxes before we open them up. Just to give you a quick overview of what's in the kit. So you slide this off, open it up, and inside the box we have a small pre-release tips sheet. Gives you a few hints on what to do in a pre-release, how it works, your 22 card evolution pack, 1 exclusive foil, how you build your deck. It's a 40 card deck for pre-release, and you can have more than 4 of any one card, breaking the normal rules. And in this kit, our promo is the Zygarde Burning Shadows promo, and we get our 4 boosters. So it is a pretty decent spread of all the different artworks, and each kit comes with 4. After the pre-release event you get another 3, so 7 booster packs in total, but 4 packs with which to build your 40 card deck. So that's what you get inside a kit. We have 7 of these, which makes up 28 boosters that we were able to open. These are leftover kits, so we don't have the additional 3 boosters from each, and let's have a look what's inside them. Alright guys, we have Dan here with us today again, and we are going to open up some packs. So as you can see, we have a stack of 28 packs. It's 7 pre-release kits, 4 boosters in each kit, and that's pretty much almost an entire booster box. So let's see what we can get from 28 packs of cards.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get better pull ratios now.
Yeah, it should be a slightly different ratio to the kind of traditional box ratio. As with all these sets, we get an energy card, so we must remember to take that out. And let's jump straight into it. So we start off with a Hoothoot, Sandygast, Rhyhorn, a Marill, Caterpie, a Sophocles, Bodybuilding Dumbbells. It's a card that a lot of guys have been talking about playing in Garbodor to put it over the 120 HP mark to actually get up to 160, making it harder to one-hit knockout.
Yes.
74, and then our reverse holo is a Heracross. That's pretty cool. It's got a built-in focus sash, so that when it's going to be knocked out, it's not knocked out, and it has 10 HP remaining, which is pretty awesome.
Wow.
The attack, not the greatest. 2 grass, does 50, and your opponent switches their active with a benched.
But isn't it more just to have something on the board that just stays there while you build up your actual bench Pokemon?
Possibly, and I suppose you are putting 50 damage on. You know, if you're hitting for weakness, it's 100.
Yeah.
Not too bad, and you're disrupting your opponent a bit with forcing them to switch. But yeah, it's an interesting card. But at least we get a reverse rare, and then our regular rare is a Scolipede. So
I've been meaning to ask you.
Yeah.
When it comes to the actual that special energy that you pulled, does it take up over the energy slot, or does it actually just take over the actual rare slot?
It takes out the rare slot in the pack. Yeah. So, I mean, it is a secret rare. It's supposed to hold a fair amount of value. I think the reality is that in our market, maybe not. You know, I think there are collectors out there, but the reality is that in South Africa, the collector community is pretty small. And, you know, they are going to want to collect the hyper rares and secret rares in the set. So it is a secret rare. But effectively it is just a dark energy, so it doesn't do anything different. So we've got a Rattata, Mudbray, Magikarp, Pansear, Krogunk, Metapod, Lana. We've covered this supporter before. It's kind of average, I think. Electabuzz, our reverse, is a Wishful Baton, which is actually pretty cool. And a Rhyperior, holo rare for our rare. So not too bad. We did get a reverse trainer, and we did get a.
But it's pretty weak
holo
for
rare.
a white card. You just a white card, kind of like hoping that.
Hoping there's something.
Yeah.
In a pre-release, I think getting another Rhyperior is actually pretty awesome, because it does come in the kit, and obviously a pre-release format you can play more than 4 of any one card.
Okay.
So if you can play, let's say, like a 6-4-5 line, it's actually quite good for pre-release. So it's always nice to pull a playable, semi-playable rare in the set. So we get a Sork, an Esper, Pansage, Panpour, Porygon, Rhydon, Lunatone, Seadra. The Kingdra is actually pretty cool. I know when we did the booster box view, we looked at it, but for 1 water energy you can do 90 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So really good to snipe around as long as they have damage on them. So you pair it up with a Tapu Koko promo, spread damage across the field, and then you can start sniping out Pokemon.
It actually gives your opponent less options of what to bring out.
That's right. It means that their bench is never safe. 90 is a lot of damage to be able to place anywhere on the field just for a single energy. And with Rare Candy you can get straight into that stage 2 if you need to. A Dusclops for our reverse and a Butterfree for our rare. So not a great pack, but that's we are, what, 3, this is basically the 4th pack in a pre-release kit. I did keep them in the same order.
I see something.
And it's a white code card.
Yeah,
so
but I saw a little shine on the side.
Something in there.
Yeah, it's something
so whoever would have got this pre-release kit would have hopefully been pretty happy. So, yep, there's definitely something nice in this pack. So we get a Dewpider, Tangela, Hoothoot, Sandygast, Rhyhorn. Again, you know, playable cards that you could use in the pre-release. Rotom Dex, Super Scoop Up. This actually was really good in pre-release. Electabuzz. A reverse is the Bodybuilding Dumbbells. And a Gardevoir GX as our rare, which is, yes, I am. That is really cool. Yeah. So we'll put that over there. That was one of the cards that everyone was looking for, but I think in terms of pre-release playability, hardly anybody pulled the rest of the line that actually ever pulled that card. So they just couldn't play it. So we're now into our second box. That was pretty good. So out of 1 pre-release kit, we got a Gardevoir. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 rares. One of which was a reverse and some reverse trainers. So not too bad. The next kit we get a Noibat, Pikachu, Esper, Pansage, Marill, Simisage. Nice to see the monkeys getting printed again. Whirlipede, a Guzma. This was also another card everybody wanted at pre-release.
That's the full art one you're still hoping for.
Still hoping for a full art, you never know.
Like one of your videos, also someone pulled one of those, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that is what everybody's after. The full art trainer, I think, that people want. We get a Wick and we get a Persimmon for our regular rare.
Yeah, you were discussing how well they actually work together if you have enough in the field.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's not a great thing in terms of we didn't get any amazing rares, but in terms of a pre-release pack, just getting trainers is a big deal. Because the kits that you get, the trainer kits you get in the pre-release are average, but you know, you don't get a hell of a lot of draw support, so it's always nice to pull cards that provide you with that draw support.
And normally that's the whole point, was that you actually can be able to get to your answers.
That's it, you need to get the pieces out as quickly as possible. Rhyhorn, Marill, Caterpie, Morlul, Duskull, another Bodybuilding Dumbbells, Acerola, another card that everybody wanted at pre-release. Fantastic supporter. Any Pokemon with damage, you're able to return it to your hand and everything that's attached to it as well, which is really, really good. Dusclops, I actually pulled a reverse Dusknoir in my pre-release and then none of the rest of the line, so I couldn't use it. A reverse is a Seviper, so that's a reverse rare, and a Shiinotic regular rare, which is pretty good actually for a pack. So not too bad. We are, how far are we into?
Second pack.
So we're on the 3rd pack of our second box. Not too bad. And let's see what we can get in this one. So this box so far hasn't had anything too amazing, and this pack doesn't look too hopeful either, but let's see what we can find in terms of playable trainers. So we get a Meowth, Riolu, a Alolan Grimer, with Division letting you get a whole lot more Alolan Grimers out. Ladybug, Cutiefly, another Acerola, that's great. So whoever got this pack would have had a good set of trainers. A Gloom, another piece in a really good pre-release line, which was the Vileplume. A Seviper, another Acerola reverse, which is really nice, and a Crabominable. another great pre-release card, and not a bad for the rare spot in a pre-release kit.
I actually wanted to ask you a question, Rob.
Yeah.
I've looked at your deck list quite a lot, and it always seems to run maybe one or two of a trainer.
Yep.
Not very much. Obviously, I come from playing some other trading card games, and I'm very used to the whole traditional rule of you play 2 if you want to play a low number, or play 4 if it's a good card.
Yep.
Why do you decide sometimes only play 1 card?
So it's quite interesting that, and it's very format specific. So if you look at what we have access to in the current format, we've got Versus Seeker, which lets you get that one-off trainer back out of your discard pile to potentially reuse it another 4 times.
Yes.
But we also have access to Wonder Tag, and Wonder Tag with the Tapu Lele, as you play it down, lets you search your deck and get that one supporter. So Lele together with Via Seeker means you can find any one supporter you need and reuse it another 4 times. Now, when rotation hits and Via Seeker goes out, naturally we'll bump up the counts of supporters that we play.
Okay, makes
so those that it would have traditionally been a 1 of might come to a 2 of. You might need to boost your consistency, so you can play, means you can play less techs in the deck.
So technically the VS was just a variety card. It could be anything you needed at the time.
Correct.
Okay, makes sense.
And I think for a lot of people it's going to be difficult adjustment because those slots that you had available to include specific techs to counter different matchups, they now get used up for consistency.
Yes.
So you have to be much cleaner and leaner in the way you build decks going forward. So it'll be an interesting format, I've got to say. The loss of Via Seeker makes such a difference. You've got a Marill, a Charmander, Oddish, Sork, Porygon, Hotown, Porygon 2, a Weakness Policy, also not too bad in pre-release, particularly if you managed to pull a Darkrai GX, because there was a lot of fighting around. We get a Lunatone Reverse, and an Araquanid as our regular rare. So yeah, I think, Lele is just such a good... it's such a good card. I mean, at the moment you can get away with maybe playing 2 Tapu Lele in the deck because we have Versus Seeker. But the reality is, I think post-rotation everybody will need to probably be playing a 3 count, even a 4 count. A lot of the decks that have done really well in big regionals and big special events have all been playing a 4 count of Tapu Lele. And that means they've been able to drop their Versus Seeker count down, which reduces the amount of items they play, but it just means every single turn they can get the exact supporter they need for the turn. So it's reminiscent of kind of the old Battle Compressor Versus Seeker day, where you could compress out what you needed and then get that back with the Versus Seeker. So it's really good. I mean, I think the card's only going to go up in price. If you haven't got at least 2 now, I think you need to buy them quite fast, and you should look to have 3 to 4 in your collection if you want to play competitively. I think we are into the 3rd box. So that box as a whole wasn't particularly great. In fact, that box had all green code cards. So that whoever got that box, which probably would have been me, got nothing in particular. So in this one we get a Sandygast, a Rhyhorn, a Marill, a Caterpie, a Morlul, Tormenting Spray, kind of, I suppose, decent in mill decks, but not in a pre-release. Heatmore, Weakness Policy, reverses a Magikarp with Splashing Dodge, 10, flip a coin, if heads prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon. This could have been pretty cool if Gyarados still had some legs in the format, but unfortunately it doesn't. And then we get a Rhyperior as our holo rare, which is
pretty sad.
Pretty sad, but I played a Rhyperior Biofilm deck and it actually performed pretty well. I went undefeated until the final round. So
do you feel that card's going to have any place in current meta?
No, not at all. In fact, I think the card as a whole is only good in a pre-release. It's got no space in the meta. I mean, it's got a mill deck kind of flavor to it with Toppling Wind ability, but beyond that, nothing. So we get a Morlul, Duskull, Oddish, Dynamo, Mudbray, Noctowl. This actually was pretty good also in pre-release, being able to put your opponent to sleep and do 30 damage. It's quite a big deal. Electabuzz, Mount Lanicula, Sneasel for our reverse, and a Butterfree for our rare. So not a great box so far. And we have what? How many packs left in this box? 2 packs left in this box. So 2 packs in. That was a white, I think a white code. So that was weird. But This is a white code as well, so
Back to
hopefully
back.
we can get something decent in this one. Third one, yep. Okay, so we have a Sork, a Togedemaru, a Wimpod with the Wimp Out ability, great in the Galosopod deck, letting you free retreat on your first turn. A Alolan Rattata, Magikarp, Bouffalant with the Bouffant head, which is actually pretty good as an attack. Electric, Simisage, our reverse is a Mudsdale, and we get a Muck GX as our GX rare in the pack. Actually not a bad card. I watched somebody play this in pre-release and it actually performed quite well. So we got Chemical Breath, 10 plus, this attack does 70 more damage if a special condition affecting your opponent's active. So you need to poison them, put them to sleep, or confuse them, or burn them. Crunch, which has a pretty hefty energy requirement for 120. And then the GX attack, which costs no energy, lets you switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active. The new Pokemon is now burned. So the idea really here is you use the GX attack to inflict the special condition on your opponent because they are burned, paralyzed, and poisoned. So all three really good special conditions. And then you hit them for Chemical Breath on the next turn, hopefully taking the knockout.
I actually find it so strange is when I was out for Pokemon for a good couple of years, and then you came back, and I started playing, and I looked at that symbol, and I couldn't figure it out what it was.
Oh, the colorless.
The one that was no cost.
The no energy cost. It
Yes.
used to be in the baby evolutions had it. Like we had Eek and quite a lot of really good attacks that did really well in the format. Those sort of energyless attackers, and sometimes their typing was really good, like you'd have a fighting type, but they often tended to be colorless, so those weren't great. But
3 back-to-back whites.
yeah, that's not bad. So let's see what we get in this one. This could have been one of those amazing boxes. So we get a Meowth, Crabrawler, Charmander, Sneasel, Alolan Grimer with Division. That worked well with the GX we just pulled. Bodybuilding Dumbbells, Rhydon, Electric. Our reverse is a Raichu. That's pretty cool. So we get a reverse rare. With Evo Shock, when you play from your hand, you can leave your opponent's active Pokemon paralyzed. And we get a Zygarde as our rare. Zygarde reverse. There you go, you can see the reverse effect. That was also a pre-release promo as well, so a pretty weird energy requirement, especially in a pre-release where you don't have access to Double Dragon Energy, Dark and Fairy. But not a bad first attack, which takes a 3 colorless energy requirement. So
when you say you have no access to those, were they just not given, or what?
they're not. They were in. Which set were they in? Ancient Origins, I think, was the set they were printed in, which gets rotated out. But obviously, that's the only set they've been printed in.
Oh, wow.
So in a pre-release event, you only have access to basic energy and the cards you pull.
Wow.
So you can't use a special energy at all. Okay, so in this one, we get a Wimpod, a Togedemaru, Dupida, Cutiefly, Riolu, Ribombee, Solrock. This was a great card in pre-release for me, drawing cards. Escape Rope, pretty decent trainer. Reverse is a Whirlipede, and we get a Crabominable as our regular rare. So let's move these dudes out of the way. Over there. And how many packs have we got? Quite a few left, so we are doing quite well.
So we're talking more than we're opening.
Yeah, we got 2 GXs out of that, so not too bad. And quite a lot of good real sort of staple trainers, which I think guys would have been happy with.
I do find that
Esper,
you're really excited more for
Sage.
trainers than actual Pokemon.
I get pretty excited about trainers. I think this set had some great trainers that guys were pretty excited about. Not this one, unfortunately. Reverse Escape Rope and a Butterfree. This is a terrible rare. Yeah, I mean you can heal all damage from all of your Pokemon, but yeah, I just think.
Bye-bye Battlefield.
Yeah, it's not an amazing card, but you know, I suppose there's probably some creative way of making it work. But now that Forest of Giant Plants is rotated, there's definitely not a creative way of making that work. Alright, so we get a Dupida, Cutiefly, Riolu, another Grimer, Noibat, Simisear, Porygon 2, Charmeleon. Oh, that's nice, a reverse Curlia. I always like reverses. And then our rare is a Bruxish, which is...
Why do you like reverses over actual hollows?
Well, you generally wouldn't get a holo that's not a rare, and this is an uncommon. But I had this thing about blinging out my decks, which means getting as many reverse holo cards or ultra rare cards into the deck as possible, and as a result I always like reverses of the main kind of building blocks of the deck, and for Gardevoir GX that would be pretty cool. So we've got a Horsey, although these days I'm leaning more towards
I still have
no reverse.
A Vulpix for you still.
Ah, thank you.
You could reverse.
Venipede, Sneasel, Crabrawler, a Ralt, speaking of Gardevoir, Wick, Seviper, Sophocles, Pansage reverse, it's not a reverse I'll be using, and we get a Lucario holo rare as our rare, so that's quite cool as a card to pull, but I don't know how playable it is as yet. The ability looks like it could have some potential, but it's got a crazy energy requirement. 3 fighting for a 120 HP Pokemon. I don't see it surviving. Alright, so see what we get in this one. We have a Pansear, Cutiefly, Panpour, Pikachu, Krogunk, Olivia, getting 2 GX out of your deck, so you could use that to find some of those missing stage 2s. Kiawe, which is also a great trainer card. It's going to see a lot of use in Turtonator, Volcanion, Ho-Oh decks. Porygon 2, a reverse, is a Pansear. Speaking of Ho-Oh, there is a Ho-Oh GX in our rare slot. It's got Sacred Fire for a fire and double colorless. Does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, so anywhere you want. And then Phoenix Burn for 3 fire and a colorless, does 180, and it can't use it on the next turn. So the idea here really is you turn 1 Kiawe, put the 4 fire on him, and then second turn you're hitting for 180, which is just really, really good.
Yeah, domination.
Yeah, so that's a great card.
Third one we've pulled.
Yeah, we got
Two in the last
a full art and a regular art. No secret rare yet, but yeah, it's a pretty cool card. I can see myself using that in Volcanion Turtonator for sure. Let's hope that we get something like a full art trainer. That'd be amazing. So we have a Sneasel, Venipede, Sandygast, Caterpie, Ladybug, Simisage, Tormenting Spray, Whirlipede, reverses a Bruxish, and then a Dusknoir as our rare. So this is not necessarily the good Dusknoir. There used to be a Dusknoir with Sinister Hand, which let you move damage around. It was really good. It just used to fit into so many great decks. I played against somebody who'd built up the Empoleon Miltank Dusknoir deck the other day, and it was just so good. I mean, even in the current format, it just stood up really well as a stage 2 attacker. So we get a Charmander, Sneasel, Grimer, Ralts, a Alolan Vulpix, not the good Alolan Vulpix Weakness Policy, Potown, a Ribombee, a reverse Ralts to go with our reverse Curlier, and our rare is an Electivire. Cool.
Actually, was it asking what deck are you planning to take nationals?
To Worlds.
Sorry, Worlds.
Probably Gardevoir. I think alternatively, if I feel like I want to play safe, I will go with Turtonator Volcanion. I think it's just a good safe play with a generally 50-50 kind of matchup, if not better than that across the board. So you've got a Ralts, Vulpix, Hoothoot, Ladybug, Mudbray, Rhydon, Charmeleon, Bouffalant, reverses Electabuzz, and a Persimmon as our rare. Yeah, I think Volcanion with Turtonator and a one-off Ho-Oh and the Kiawe, which you can Lele for to get that turn 1 Kiawe, is just super strong. I think it's going to be really difficult for your opponent to come out from that. And if you manage to get Turtonator's GX attack off, attaching 5 fire energy from your discard to your whole board, your entire field is set up and you are ready to go, which is, you know, quite difficult for somebody to look at a field full of energy and just massive attackers. We got a Rattata, Mudbray, Magikarp, Pansear, Krogunk, another Lana, Tormenting Spray, Charmeleon, reverse Weakness Policy, nice. And then Alolan Ninetales with the Luminous Barrier ability, which is kind of like a safeguard. Can't be attacked by GX and EX. This is a really great inclusion in a Ninetales deck, I do believe. I think it...
The current one I'm running.
Yeah, I think this would be just such a great inclusion in that. And definitely something I want to try out. I think just with the amount of Metagross GX running around, Alolan Ninetales is...
It gives you options, because you have the one Alolan Ninetales that can do a good amount of damage, that's fair. And then you have this one. So you double packing in the essence of you just have Vulpexes, get them into the Ninetales, and if you need something to store the board, you get that. If you need something to build up something on the bench and then bring it out, you have the other one. It works both ways.
It does, and I think 80 damage isn't bad. It's got the same kind of energy requirement, a single energy retreat cost. It can give you some fighting chance against Metagross, that's for sure. So in this one we get a Noibat, a Pikachu, an Esper, Pansage, Marill, Wishful Baton, Metapod, Bodybuilding Dumbbells, reverse is an Azumarill, and a Eradicate for our rare, which is one of those cards that came in the pre-release kits as well and actually played quite well. It's got an energyless attack that actually does some pretty decent damage. So yeah, I think Rattata Eradicate was a good build for pre-release, that's for sure. I think most countries...
Ooh, I can see something.
Yeah, there's something in this one.
Yeah, it looks kind of gold, actually.
Gold, that could be nice.
Still gold.
Maybe it's something like there are some really cool secret rares in the set. We have Secret Rare Choice Band, Escape Rope, Rescue Stretcher, and then the energies. Venipede, Sandygast, Morlul, Grabrawler, Stuffle, Wobbuffet, Electric, another Guzma. Our reverse is a Alolan Rattata, and it's actually a full art Darkrai GX, which is actually awesome. I think the artwork on the full art is just significantly better than the regular art in this set. It's really, really
so something you will be collecting.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's got some space in a Darkrai. A lot of guys are trying to rebuild a speed Darkrai deck and make it work in the current format. So hopefully we figure out a way to make it work and get that deck back on top. It was so dominant in the last season. It really did well.
So back-to-back white as well.
Yeah, Tangela, Dupida, Noibat, Pikachu, Esper, another Kiawe, Simisear, Heatmore, Simipour, Fire Reverse, and we get a regular Gyarados, yeah. So that's actually pretty cool. A rare Gyarados. Haven't really looked at it too much, and I don't think it's going to see a lot of play, but it is a Pokemon that everybody loves to collect, so definitely has some collector's appeal to it. Now we start off with a Marill, Caterpie, Morlul, Duskull, Oddish, Hotown, Ribombee, Curlier, Reverse Wick, and a Heracross. Regular non-holo rare. So we've got a lot of non-holo rares in this set. Haven't pulled a lot of holos, which is sad, I suppose, but I'd rather my holos are hyper rares. Okay, we get a Charmander, Oddish, Sork, Porygon, Caterpie, Ribombee, Curlier, Olivia, Seviper is our reverse, and a Mudsdale as our regular rare. So we're on to our last two packs. Let's see if we can get one more hyper rare. That's 4 out of 26 so far, and I think we've got something in this one, so that would be 5 out of 27, which is pretty good pull rates. We get a Sork, an Esper, a Pansage, a Panpour, a Porygon, a Charmeleon, a Bouffalant, a Livia, a reverse Acerola, that's also great, and a Noivern GX, regular art GX, which is also pretty awesome. This is kind of your combo of Giratina and Seismitoad all in one, with a bit of an awkward energy requirement, but still a card that I think is going to see some play in the next season. And we're on to our last pack. So could we possibly get something in this one and get 6?
It is white.
6 hyper rares in 28 boosters. Who knows? Let's have a look. We have an Inkay, a Dupida, a Tangela, a Hoothoot, Sandygast, Tormenting Spray, Heatmore, Weakness Policy. Our reverse is a Lunatone, and then we get a Holo Diancie as our rare, which is actually pretty good. People have been testing this out in Gardevoir GX and Sparkling Wish. Search your deck for a card that evolves from one of your Pokemon and put it onto that Pokemon to evolve, then shuffle your deck. So just a way of setting up your God of War deck earlier on in the game.
And it's great base Pokemon. Just
yeah,
great.
pretty good, not bad. And you're going to play the Fairy Garden for the free retreat, so even then it only has a 1 energy retreat cost, so not bad. So out of our boxes, we managed to pull Noivern GX, Full Art Darkrai GX, Ho-Oh GX, Alolan Mutt GX, and a Gardevoir GX. So pretty good for 7 boxes, I've got to be honest. Plus we've got a lot of really good trainer cards, including some fantastic reverse trainers. So not bad, I must say. That's actually really, really good and pretty good pull rates. So for you guys that are thinking about buying boxes, if you can get access to any of the leftover pre-release kits, it might be worth your while. But yeah, thanks for joining us. Thanks for Dan coming along for the openings. And yeah, guys, just give me your feedback on the video and let me know what you think.
Thanks,
cheers. A huge shout out to our sponsors, the Battle Bunker, for providing us with these pre-release kits.